Good evening, everyone. This is Michael Reeves, and tonight we are set to bring you the Autumn Wind Championship for the 2021 season. In Autumn Wind, a 30-team Strat-o-matic football league, we call our championship the Ooper Bowl, OOPER Bowl. And tonight's combatants are the Philadelphia Eagles, coached by Dave Szymanski, butting heads here with Claude Turcotte, coach of the Montreal Alouettes. Dave Szymanski has not won an Ooper Bowl championship. He is looking for his first one. This is the 17th edition of the Autumn Wind Championship game called the Ooper Bowl. Claude Turcotte, coach of the Montreal Alouettes, who was the AFC champion, has two under his belt. So Dave Szymanski looking for his first title. Claude Turcotte looking for his third. So Philadelphia will start out with it with the ball at their own 29. We'll go ahead and set up the screen here. Oops, the way I like it. And that's not that screen. Oops. That's even worse. Well, my screen, just a couple plays in, it looks like it got knocked out. So I'll jump back in here real quick. Okay, now we're back in there. So we'll pick it up 3rd and 1. Ball to Philadelphia 37. On that first play, Alvin Kamara was double teamed, and then my screen crashed. So we're back in it. Philadelphia has first possession. They're the champions of the NFC. And there's a run for Kamara, but he's stopped 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. And that was on the defensive card, but it was actually a blocking back rating. So Montreal guessed wrong, but they're able to stop Philadelphia, so they'll go 3 and out here on this first possession, and the Alouettes will take over. So Claude Turcotte, coach of the Alouettes, 12-4, wild card club, won all three of their games in the playoffs to get to this final contest. So they technically are 15-4. Ryan Tannehill, under center, had a great AFC Championship game. He was white hot in that victory. That's Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. Tannehill throwing on first down. Incomplete pass. And that was intended for Allen Robinson. So his wideouts are Amari Cooper and Allen Robinson, two terrific wideouts. Dan Arnold is one tight end. Kyle Rudolph is the other tight end, but a lot of times he'll play him in the backfield as a blocking back. We'll see a mix of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Bo Scott for Montreal. Crossing pattern for Alvin Kamara. Defense was double teaming Kyle Rudolph. And so on Tannehill's second attempt, that pass is caught. Fumble split. No fumble there. It was on the receiver card. So Amari Cooper hauls it in. And Montreal has a first down now at their 35. Philadelphia started this contest and went 3 and out on their first drive. So if you look at Philadelphia's defense, they're quite stout up front. They run a 3-4 with a 5, 6, and a 5 up front. He's bringing his 6 on a blitz. There's another pass. So aggressive early for for Claude Turcotte. A completed pass. 3 men in the zone, 15 yards on Allen Robinson's card. So 3 straight passes here on Montreal's first drive, and they've made their way to the 50. In the Autumn Wind Championship, also known as the Ooper Bowl, this is Ooper Bowl 17. 2021 season. coming to a close tonight. Montreal 12-4, Philadelphia 12-4. Philadelphia representing the NFC, Montreal, the Alouettes, the AFC. So there is our first run up the middle, and that's Edward Zeller with a big pickup, short gain, guessed wrong on his card, 14 yards, and another first down. So Montreal clicking on their first drive. And now the ball's at the 36. So Bo Scott checks into the game, the Philadelphia Eagle running back. Not a household name in the NFL, but he has a very nice limited carry card. So you'll see that 1-2 punch. And Williams, the Green Bay running back, he'll come in and spell these two, especially on third down. At least that's what we've seen in the playoffs. There's a flat pass, guessed right, but it's incomplete on Tannehill's card. He was looking for Bo Scott's. It's now second down and 10. So 3-4 defense here for Philly. Got a 6 nose tackle flanked by 2 5s on your ends. Philadelphia is flooding the flats on this second down call. And there's a run, but it's not going to pick up much. Nose tackle is able to make that play, so that 6 comes in handy. He needed all 6 of those. White dice 6. Had it been anything less, it would have been a 9-yard pickup. And so now it's 3rd and 6. 49-yard field goal from here. So Williams checks into the game. Former Green Bay Packer and now Detroit Lion. Jamal Williams. Looking for Dan Arnold. Defense guesses pass. And that pass is incomplete. Defender X reading. Linebacker able to make the play. Montreal is going to try this field goal here from 49, but the kick sails wide left. So Matt Prater, who in his last contest had field goals from 50 and 59, is unable to connect 2 through 7 and 12 on that kick. But Philadelphia dodges a bullet, and the Eagles are going to take over with good field position, as they'll take over at the 39 because that's where the place kick took place. Looking for Kyle Juszczyk here. Defense is double teaming Brandon Ayuk. Cousins flushed from the pocket, and he's going to get some big yards here, some huge yards. Nice pickup on Kirk Cousins' card, pickup of 15. And so for the first time in the game, the Eagles have cracked the 50. They're at the Alouette 46, 3 and out on their first drive. So that's Kirk Cousins under center with Kyle Juszczyk, and there's a pass to Alvin Kamara, who was a do-it-all back this year. Well over 1,000 yards rushing and nearly 1,000 yards receiving. He has a great receiver card. And on third downs, he likes to split him out actually as a wide receiver. In the 3 wide set. And Philadelphia, again, another wild card team, 12-4, had to win 3 games for the right to play in this game. Defense guessing run on this play. It's a pass attempt, and it's good for 13 yards for Kyle Juszczyk, who's an excellent backer. Receiver out of the backfield. Not very many dual threat fullbacks. Most of the goodness comes from their run and pass ratings, but Kyle Juszczyk can actually run the ball, and he's a very good receiver out of the backfield. He would be what we call a Strat darling. Strat-o-matic loves that guy. And so with that reception, Philadelphia now has the ball at the 33, and they're going to pick up some more yards on this play. That was an end run for Alvin Kamara, who picks up 12. And Philadelphia is in business on their second drive with the ball at the Alouettes 21. Both these two clubs have been in autumn wind for plenty of years. Here's a deep shot looking for Fuller. Defense is double teaming Ayuk. It's guessed right, and it's incomplete. And as you can see on the receiver card, a blank on 8, long gain on 7, and a 25 on 9. That would have been a touchdown either way. But the toss falls harmlessly to the turf. It's now second down and 10. Both of these men have been in this league for years and years. In fact, we are celebrating 17 years of autumn wind titles, but this used to be actually uh, played via cards. And this Strat-o-matic game, not if you're listening to this live, but if you're listening to the rebroadcast, Strat-o-matic is a game company out of Glen Head, New York, that began uh, with the baseball game. And the baseball game is the longest running, but the football game is quite popular. It was introduced in the late 60s. And this Autumn Wind League, which mostly was based in California, adopted, adopted um, the Strat-o-matic game in the early 70s. I believe they were using another game, maybe APBA, in the late 60s. These guys both have been in the league for quite some time, especially Dave Saminsky, who I believe is the league historian for Autumn Wind. But there are plenty of gentlemen who are in this league who are actually were in it from the onset. So if we had a Mount Rushmore, Dave Saminsky would be on it, and Claude Turcotte wouldn't be too far behind. He's been in this league for many years, even before the computer game was adapted 17 years ago. So it's 3rd and 6. They're going to look for Fuller on this play, but he finds a blank on Kirk Cousins' card, a mediocre short pass guessed right card, and the Eagles now are going to line up for their field goal attempt. Matt Prater for Montreal clunked his first attempt, but this one sails true. So that's Brandon McManus, who has a terrific leg, the Denver Broncos kicker, and the Eagles have struck first. 3-0 in this autumn wind championship. So fortunately, we don't get a game freeze there. We'll go right to it. For those of you who've been watching the broadcasts, you've been probably pretty familiar with the fact that some of these kickoffs and punts that sail into the end zone, it's an animation bug, and it causes us to have to jump back into the game. The game just basically freezes. The coaches continue to play, but for whatever reason, well, the rest of us are kicked out. But regardless, this is Tannehill's second possession. This time they'll take over at the 25. There's an off tackle run for Edward Zelaire. Stop for no gain. Nose tackle able to make the play. Second down and 10. Nose tackle 6. What a luxury. Tannehill's looking for Dan Arnold. It's pass sails over his head. It's now 3rd and 10. Look at that. Dan Arnold with a long gain on 2. Lots of spaces there on that card. Not your optimal target on a short pass, but one doesn't think that he will be double teamed for sure. 2 solid wideouts here in Cooper and Robinson, and now they're going to go 3 wide, and that's Preston Williams, excuse me. Williams will stay in the backfield. He's their 3rd down back, and he's sidecar there to Tannehill, who is flush from the pocket. He's forced to run, and he nearly gets a first down. Picks up 7, but he's 3 yards short, and the Alouettes are going to be forced to punt. And again, we missed the animation there, but at least there's no freeze. Alouettes did a nice job of flipping the field. The Eagles will take over deep in their own territory, ball at the 8, but they are leading 3-0. So this is the 3rd possession for the Eagles and Dave Saminsky. Dave's looking for his first autumn win title. Up here against Claude Turcotte, who already has 2 autumn win championships. Cousins is looking for Kamara on this pass. And it's incomplete. Oh, excuse me, it's complete. Okay. Sorry about that. It's actually complete for 13 yards. I've been experiencing some strange hiccups here where, for whatever reason, it's a prompt comes up and asks me to okay it. So when I did that, I moved the little yellow bar on the player card, so I didn't know the result of the play. Anyway, that's a pickup of 4 for Kamara. Guessed wrong. Short gain on 6, short gain on 7, chunky runs on 2 and 12. So that's a steady card, not spectacular. Guessed wrong, 7-yard pickup there for Kamara on a line buck. So straight up the gut, and another first down for the dynamic back out of the real life New Orleans Saint. Ball rests at the 32. Eagles up 3-0 here in this Autumn Wind Championship, Super Bowl 17, the final game of the Autumn Wind 2021 season. Kamara, another run. He only gets 2. Now, and run is where he shines. That's the minus the dreaded 5. That's the worst thing he possibly could have done. And usually, when you see that 12, you're thinking, uh-oh, boxcars and snake eyes, that can't be good. And it's only a 2-yard pickup. 49 on 2, 30 on 3, short gains on 4, 6, and 8. That was the worst, the worst possible outcome. Who would have thought that? So Tony Pollard, the Cowboys backup, he'll check into the game, and this is a pitch for Pollard. Claude brought up a linebacker there, and he isn't able to pick up much. It's only 2. And now it's 3rd and 6. That was Matt Judon, who was there, didn't make the play, but actually would have been a 2-yard loss. White dice 6, he was unable to make that stop. Regardless, bringing him up stopped that play pretty cold. Now it's 3rd and 6, but it's a manageable 3rd and 6. Cousins, pretty good flat pass card. They go 3 wide. So now, as you can see, Kamara has been moved to the outside where he is defended by a 4. Looking for Fuller. Short pass, guessed wrong. But a blank there on Kirk Cousins' card on a 5. And the Eagles are going to turn this ball back over to Montreal. Six-yard pickup on the play on that return, and the Alouettes will take over at their own 16 as we have wrapped up the first quarter. So your score after 1, Philadelphia 3, Montreal nothing. The Alouettes, now with their 3rd possession of the game, will take over at their own 16. Pitch out to Edwards-Helaire, defense double teaming 2 receivers on this play. That's a short gain and a nice pickup of 17 for the real life Kansas City Chief. And the Alouettes now have it at their own 33. Edwards-Helaire again, defense calls run here. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. I just jumped in and grabbed somebody, a spectator. Who did I just pull? Who is that?
It's Nathan Baylor.
Oh man, I'm so glad. Nathan, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. So after Edwards-Helaire stopped for no gain on first down, it's now 2nd and 10. And now Scott's going to check into the game. Off tackle run for Scott. But he stopped. Again, that nose tackle 6 makes the play. Daquan Jones, it's now 3rd and 10. So once again, Jerome Williams will check in. That's Dan Arnold at tight end. Preston Williams now the 3rd wide receiver, joining Allen Robinson and Amari Cooper. Looking for Allen Robinson. Defense double teams Allen Robinson. That's a great call from Szymanski, and Montreal is going to have to turn this ball right over. So they were able to get 1 first down on an end run. But the drive stalls, and the Eagles will take possession again. There's a nice long punt. 60 yards. It's fielded and brought back 11. And so now the Eagles will take over. The Eagles with the lone score in this contest, a field goal by Brandon McManus. So tough sledding for both clubs so far offensively. There's a pitch. Defense guesses run on the play. And Kamara was able to manage 2. So 12 minutes to go. Running clock here, 2nd quarter. Eagles up 3-0 in Uber Bowl 17. Looking for Fuller. Defense double teaming Fuller. But the pass is going to be caught. And that was on the defense card. 4 men in the zone. Not a lot of opportunity for a reception there, but that's one where box scores works in your advantage. 12-yard pickup and a first down.
Was that a long game if he didn't have 4 men there?
Good question.
Yeah.
It looked like it.
was. I saw it.
Yep.
So still a really good defensive call. Otherwise, he gets a long gain.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So Cousins looking for Kamara on that last play. It's incomplete. So far, Cousins 5 of 10 for 33 yards. So Dave Szymanski looking for his first Autumn Wind championship. Crossing pattern for Kyle Juszczyk, and this is going to be a big, big sack. A 10-yard sack. Matt Judon. And so that's probably going to be a likely drive killer here. 3rd down and 20. 3 wide set. Let's see what Montreal's going to counter with. 3-3-5. Not showing blitz. So we got a 4 guarding Kamara, 6 on Fuller, and a 5 on Ayuk. Also a 4 on Hunter Henry. He also has that 4 in the long pass zone, so there is some vulnerability there. A square in to Kamara, and defense was actually double teaming him there. So that's an incomplete pass. Oh, excuse me, that was a pickup of 3. Sorry about that. There was 1 man in the zone, pick up a 3. Regardless, they're going to have to kick this one away again. That's another booming kick. Caught at the 13, picks up a few yards, and so the Alouettes are now going to take over at the 19. So let's see. We're in the middle of the second, and the Phillies are up on the Expos here, 3-0. There's a quick look over there for quiet Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire picks up 9 on the play. That was a white die 6. 0 men in the zone. And it's now 2nd down and 1. So Claude Turcotte and the Alouettes, the AFC champions, 12-4 this regular season, 3 wild card wins for the right to play in this contest. 3 wild card wins also for the Eagles, 12-4, coached by Dave Saminsky. Tannehill so far 3 of 8 for 40 yards. There's a screen right to Williams. Defense was double teaming Allen Robinson. Williams hauls it in and will pick up 9 again on the play. That was actually 10 yards. Another white die 6. So move the chains for the Alouettes. Ball at the 38, 1st and 10. Trailing 3-0 to the Eagles. Montreal will get the kick to begin the 3rd quarter. Looking for Dan Arnold. Defense again, double teaming Allen Robinson. And look who hauls that in. That's Dan Arnold. A big catch for 29 yards. Pretty sparse long pass guest right card, but he's able to haul that in. Receiver rating on the D card. Now, would that have made a difference, Nathan? Let's see. That would have been a receiver reading either way.
Well, he rolled the 6, and he could have got those long gains.
That's true.
That's the roll you want, throwing that against that guy.
Yep. Defense guesses pass. Completed 14-yard reception. Ryan Tannehill, 6 of 11 for 93 yards. That's another 1st down. So the Alouettes looking sharp here. Ball at the Eagles 19. That was hauled in by Amari Cooper. 2nd catch for 30 yards. Edwards-Helaire checks back in. Inside run for Helaire. Good call by the Eagles. Defense guesses run. He's still able to manage 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6. So now Scott's going to check in. 6:36 to go.
Scott's a pretty good runner, guessed right.
Yes, he sure is. Defense double teaming Allen Robinson there. Nice call by the Eagles. And so that'll bring up 3rd and 6 here at the 15. So at the very least, the Alouettes looking pretty good to at least tie the score. They're looking for more. See if they can convert this tough 3rd down. Not only are the Eagles strong with their front 3, but also look at those linebackers. So not a lot of holes there. Strong secondary too. On top of that, the only 4 on the field is defending Robinson right now. And he's looking for Robinson. Defense chose to double team Williams. And he picked on the 4, and he's going to be rewarded here as Allen Robinson's going to take this one into the end zone for a touchdown. So completed pass from Ryan Tannehill, 16 yards. Good for the first touchdown of the contest. And with that extra point, the Alouettes now go up 7-3. So looks like we got a freeze, so we'll have to hop back in. All right, so we'll rejoin this. We got kicked out with that animation bug. Get the screen back going here again. So we've only missed one play. So the Eagles will take over, and for the first time in the contest, they are now trailing. Pollard is checked into the game. Looking for Brandon Ayuk. Defense guesses run. In fact, they were keying Pollard, so that should be something good. And it is 17-yard pickup for the San Francisco 49er. So the Eagles now trailing 7-3. And they have the ball at their own 46. Plenty of time here in the first quarter. 4:48 to go. The Alouettes will get the ball to begin the third quarter. Defense guesses pass. That's Kamara up the middle for 7. Now 2nd down and 3. So the Eagles again have made their way into Montreal territory. Ball's at the 47. So lots you can do here. 2nd down and 3. Let's see if he stays with the run. He does, but it looks like it's going to be snuffed out. It was. He guessed right. He keyed him, but he didn't get to the right location defensively.
Yeah, he tried to key him off tackle and he ran outside.
Thank you. So he is able to pick up 2. That's surprising. His end run card isn't that bad. Guessed wrong. He's got that -4, but he doesn't have that crazy minus, on the 5 that some of these do, and has lots of gains actually.
Yeah, he's got a lot of games guessed right.
Mm-hmm. 3rd and 1. Nice pickup there of 14 yards and a 1st down. I didn't have to. I was guessed right actually. So Hunter Henry's able to haul it in, and it was on Kirk Cousins' card, whose short pass card is just okay. But it's good enough there. Cousins now 8 of 14 for 81 yards. And the Eagles likely have made their way into, at the very least, field goal range. From here, it'd be a 48-yarder. No gain on that first play. Again, defense calls run. Nice call by the Alouettes. No gain on Kamara's card. 2:24 to go. Philadelphia not in hurry up. Now Pollard is. Oh, go ahead, please.
26 combos there where he gets yardage guessed right. It's really good.
That's really good.
That's like Gus Edwards good, just not quite as many yards.
Right. Oh, defense gets run on that play, it looks like. But the pass falls incomplete. That was, again, looking for Hunter Henry. Montreal got away with one there. 3rd and 10. 2:06 to go. That was a lucky break for the Alouettes. 3 wide set. Kamara now switches out to wide out. And once again, Juszczyk. Sidecar left to Cousins, who's in the shotgun. Looking for Juszczyk. Defense double teaming Kyle Juszczyk. But wow, he's still able to pick it up. 12 there on Kirk Cousins' card. And so he had a terrible luck on that previous roll, and now he gets super lucky on that roll. But he'll take it, and the drive is going to continue as we've hit the 2-minute warning with Montreal up 7-3. Philadelphia looking strong here on this drive with ball at the Alouettes 19. Another good call for the Alouettes. Defense guesses run, and Kamara picks up a yard. So Montreal is not at all afraid to call run, and they've been rewarded. Minute 30, so it looks like Philadelphia is going to hurry up here. Both clubs with all three of their timeouts.
How many
While
carries
resting
does Kamara have left?
I'll look. I will look. Maybe. There we go. Whoops.
Oh, usually you can hover over him and it'll show. There he goes again.
Kamara guessed right. Pickup of 5. There we go.
9 carries left.
9 carries left. So 11 carries so far.
I think next time Dave has the ball, he's probably going to throw at least a couple short passes to Will Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is going to call a run that often. So you got to go to your big play guy.
Yep. So let's see. To go stay in the hurry up, maybe? Or did they not? Maybe they're just calling a straight up play.
And he's got his timeouts in case it gets tight.
Yep.
I will eat it while you can.
So they go to pro set here because Juszczyk actually has a usable running card. I take it. I can't see why else you would do that.
I think he can run okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty decent. Guessed wrong is actually pretty good. I've watched this team. I think I've only missed one of their playoff games. I don't recall him running very much, but this would be a good spot for it. It seems like they're going to key Kamara here. Inside run for Kamara. Defense calls pass. He didn't bring anybody up for support. And that's going to be a nice pickup of 11, and that'll put the ball at the 2. So Philadelphia's got a 5 there at nose tackle, but they didn't really bring anybody up for support. Didn't matter. It was on Kamara's card. And the Eagles drive looking really, really good. Now Montreal has called timeout. So 52 seconds remaining here in the first half of Autumn Winds Uber Bowl, our championship. This is the 17th edition. Dave Szymanski and his Philadelphia Eagles are trailing 7-3, but they're in great shape here at the Alouettes 2-yard line. Claude Turcotte is a 2-time winner of this championship. He's looking for his 3rd. Szymanski looking for his 1st. Full house backfield, so that's Juszczyk, Kamara, and Pollard. Pretty much we've seen those guys throughout this first half. No surprise. So here's where things get a little bit dicey for Montreal, whose front line isn't as strong as the Eagles. So they're going to cross them up with a pass here, and that's going to be good for a touchdown. So Hunter Henry hauls in the 2-yard touchdown pass, and the Eagles have regained the lead at 9-7 pending this extra point from McManus, and he puts it through. And so with 37 seconds to go here in the first half, the Eagles are up 10-7 in Uber Bowl 17. So there's a squib kick. It's not going to net Montreal very much. They'll take over at their own 25. How you like that long gain on 2 and 12? That would be cute. So 30 seconds to go. Montreal has 2 timeouts remaining. And they have 2 excellent wideouts. I think Williams is actually pretty decent deep. Instead, they're going to try a pitch here. Obviously guessed wrong. But with 3 wide, a white die 1 forces. there's that -8. That's what I'm used to on guessed right end run. So Edwards Allaire probably has killed this drive at this point. Ball now at the 22.
Defense took a timeout.
I just noticed that they did, didn't they? Yep. So 2nd and 18. So good call there, Nathan.
I don't know if I would necessarily do it, but possibly you could be trying to force a mistake,
Sure. Well, this drive clearly isn't going anywhere, but I've seen that come back to bite people. Off tackle draw, defense guesses pass. Williams is going to pick up some yards there. Actually picks up a first down. So now let's see if Montreal chooses to call timeout. I can't imagine why they wouldn't. Yep, they will. One more timeout left. Only a max of 3 plays left here for Montreal, but they've got a kicker who, if I remember correctly, Prater kicked a 59-yarder in one of these playoff games. So he's got the leg. But they're at least 25 yards out of field goal range.
Yeah, he can kick it to 42. Pretty good. 21 combos. So that's really good.
Well, I think we just caught a big break there, actually. No, actually, it was a white die 4. Anybody would have made that play. Cooper's defended by a 6. All he needed to do was be a 4. And so now we basically are at a max of 2 plays. I'm looking at this Philadelphia pass defense. Are they good or excellent?
I believe they're good.
Yep.
I played them twice this year. Actually, I played Montreal too.
Mm-hmm.
I had close games against these guys. Couldn't win any of them though.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. Your run and pass defense wasn't that hot, was it?
Well, what was really weird is the Montreal game. It was 13-12, and I had just scored, so I decided to go for 2, and I got stopped 1 yard short on Gus Edwards' fatigued card.
Oh man.
But I wouldn't have expected a 13-12 with
No.
a weak defense.
Sure, absolutely.
And I had a really good offense, so he did.
Oh, yes, you did.
Too.
There's no question about that. Your offense was terrific, and you've got a quarterback for the next decade. It looks like. Just have to find you another running back next year.
Yeah, maybe a couple running backs.
I know.
I have Nixon.
I just rented Dobbins for a year, basically. All right, so we made our way to the half, and the Eagles are up 10-7 over Montreal. All right, so they're going to take a little break. Let me go out to the studio, see if anybody else is out. Look at the box score here real quick while the two guys take a little break. So Philadelphia led the scoring with a 34-yard field goal in the first quarter. That's the way the quarter ended, 3-0. Montreal took the lead with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Allen Robinson 15-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Tannehill. But the Eagles managed to drive the length of the field and score on a 2-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to Hunter Henry. So the quarterback so far, Ryan Tannehill, 7 of 15 for 108 yards, 1 touchdown. Kirk Cousins, 10 of 17 for 95 yards, and 1 touchdown. And as we've noted on the forum, the way the rules are, anybody who gets about a 250-yard passing game, that's saying something. Just not a lot of yards to be had when you don't have that dump off pass. So it's just a different set of rules. Edwards-Helaire, 6 carries for 27 yards.
Well, Kirk Cousins isn't real great this year anyway.
Right.
The short pass is, I mean, pretty mediocre guessed wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Not that great guessed right either, but since he runs the ball real well, I mean, you've seen Montreal calling a lot of run.
A lot of runs. That's exactly right.
Because he can, and he even guessed right, he can move the ball. So,
You know, during the regular season, I got the stats here. I think he had about 20 interceptions. Let me see if I can find that.
nope, kicking off.
Oh, gosh. Well, jump right back into it. These guys didn't take long enough break.
Cousins'
Need to
flat
run the
pass
ball.
is good, though. So
Yes.
he's got that extra pick on 12 on the bomb. He's probably not going to throw too many of those.
Mm-hmm.
Not a real good card.
Okay, so Montreal's going to take over at their own 25, trailing 10-7. Turcotte looking for his 3rd autumn win title. Looking for Rudolph. And on that Ryan Tannehill card, he picks up 12. And that's first down. I think that was Rudolph's first catch. It was. So 8 of 16 for Tannehill so far for 120 yards. He had a great contest in the Autumn Wind Championship. He didn't throw a lot of flat passes there. He got a lot of guessed right short passes on his own card that basically they were just coin flips, and he was winning more often than not. 2-yard pickup on that pass play. One man in the zone. That was to Edwards-Helaire, his second catch of the game. 2nd down and 8. Scott up the middle, but he stopped. 2-yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 6. Defense called run on that play. So we're back to the 3 wide set with Williams in the backfield. Tannehill is now under center. So Williams can run anywhere. Now, St. Louis there, he's a 5-0, so I guess that's a possibility, maybe an end run.
He's not very good in run. He's real bad. He's an
Is
inside
he?
guy, looks like. But I mean, I guess if he thinks he can get it on the D card.
Well, there's another coin flip catch. That goes to Amari Cooper, and a 14-yard pickup on Tannehill's card, and another first down. And just like that, the Alouettes are in Eagle territory, trailing 10-7. On the Alouettes' first drive here of the 3rd quarter. Edwards-Helaire is checked back into this game. Defense calls pass, inside run for Helaire. Guessed wrong. He only picks up 1. Not the strongest linebacker card. Guessed wrong.
I was thinking, I don't know that I really like Helaire that much compared to Jamal Williams, but Jamal Williams can only run linebacker and off tackle. Maybe he doesn't like that. So I have the option. Although, I guess he's not great guest right either. Boston Scott's his guest right guy, it looks like.
Well, you would think that Tannehill would have a stronger flat pass card. That looks like Mahomes' flat pass card. Blank on 5 and a blank on 10.
I don't know. I like Tannehill's card. I guess I could see the similarity to Mahomes with 24 combos guessed wrong, short, and some holes on the. I mean, there's only the one hole. Yeah, there's a couple guessed right, I guess.
And
but
this drive is going to
runs
be
are good too.
Yeah, they are. He's going to be stymied here on a couple of consecutive incomplete passes, and they're forced to punt. Now, fortunately, they're going to knock him back here pretty deep as the Eagles will take over at their 5. So that drive looked really promising. but it sputters just inside of Eagle territory. And so now Philadelphia is going to take over, leading 10-7 with 11 and change here in the third quarter. Dave Szymanski. Off tackle run, defense guessing pass, double teaming elsewhere. Kamara's going to pick up 4. Nathan had said earlier, ask about how many unfatigued carries Kamara has. He has 7. 7 remaining.
See a short pass to Fuller right here. I think he's going to get a couple on this drive.
All right. There you go. He called it. Fuller. Defense guessing pass. But he is stopped on the play. He's guarded by a 6, and he needed all 6 of that rating to make that stop. And now it's 3rd and 6. Jair Alexander, who had a big interception in that AFC Championship game.
Yeah, in a game like this, if you're going to call a lot of run, you got to throw to the guy with the long gains on his receiver card. And that was a really good spot where there's a lot of times that he's going to call run there, I think, on 2nd and 6.
Yep. Make him pay. And you got that comfort level with a 6. Do you double team him or not? Now here, they're double teaming Kamara. Looking for Brandon Ayuk. And it's on Ayuk's card. He's able to haul it in. That was a clutch play from, let's see, Ayuk would have been a rookie here on this. That was been his rookie card, I believe. Yeah. So move the chains. First down. Screen for Kamara. Double teamed him. Yeah, he makes it. Is that on Cousins' card or is that on Kamara's
card?
Cousins' card. Pickup of 7, 2nd down and 3. It sounds like we have a guest dog that has joined us.
Oh yeah, we're my mother-in-law staying with us while they're remodeling her house, and
Yeah,
she got this Rottweiler mix. It's a real sweetheart, and she just saw her owner leave there, so she was anxiously panting out the window there.
Oh, off tackle run for Kamara. Well, they double teamed him, but that's not going to help here. That's going to be a nice pickup for Kamara as he makes his way to the 35. Eagles are up 10-7.
Yeah, he tried to key him in the off tackle zone. He just got the wrong side.
Was he? It was a key? I thought it was a double team. I misread that.
He run keyed and he put 2 guys on the right side there, or left side of the offensive line.
Thank you. I
And
missed
he
up.
right.
Missed that entirely. Looking for Kamara here on this pass play. That's incomplete again. Cousins with a mediocre pass card. Short pass card. 2nd and 10. Just about midway here in the third quarter. 8:06 to go. Eagles up 10-7. Super Bowl title on the line. Szymanski looking for his first. Turcotte his 3rd. Off tackle run for Pollard. Defense guesses run. Good call, Montreal. Pollard still able to get a few out of it. Give him 3, 3rd down and 7. Midway point of the third quarter, running clock.
I mean, when he's calling run and flooding those flat zones like he just did, he's pretty much showing him, he has no respect for Cousins down the field.
That's right.
It's hard to throw a bomb when you got a pick on 12 automatic and 11 almost automatic. And he doesn't have that many completions anyway against good defenders.
Wonder what Henry looks like. Well, we'll look here in just a second. Wow. Pass attempt for Fuller. It's never going to get there. The 2nd sack of the game, and for Judon, actually, that is his 2nd sack. And so Montreal is going to get this one back.
I think Buckner might have made that play and they did the reassignment, it looks like. Yeah, DeForest Buckner.
And they credit it to Judon, I guess.
Judon.
Yeah.
That sack reassignment stuff.
All right, so the Alouettes are going to get this one back. They're going to take over at their own 29. Just past the midway mark here of the third quarter. There's a run for Edwards-Helaire that is stopped before it gets started. No gain, second down and 10. Eleven-yard pickup on the play. That was on Tannehill's card again. Another short pass reception on his card to Allen Robinson. Ball now at the 40. Alouettes trailing 10-7. Game has been tight throughout, obviously. Not a lot of points. Inside run for Edwards-Helaire, and that's another run that goes nowhere. That's on his card. He hits that one again. The 6, I mean, and it only picks up 1. He was hurt for most of the year in the real season, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That zone doesn't go real well with Tannehill's card as far as not many short gains on it, because Tannehill probably more of a downfield thrower, short passes. Although I guess with the must runs, you can pick a couple more of those first downs up.
Right. Off tackle run. There's a big one there for Boston Scott. That's 15 yards. And again, the Alouettes have made their way into Eagle territory. On their last drive, it was here inside of the 50 that Tannehill threw 3, I think it was 2 or 3 incomplete passes, and the drive stalled. And they had to punt it back to the Eagles. Let's see if they have better luck this time. Ball to 44. First and 10. So Boston Scott now 4 carries for 21. Screen for Edwards-Helaire. They guessed run, but they're not going to get punished for it. It's on the defense card. Only a pickup of 2. So they finally got him to call run on first down, but they aren't rewarded for it. They might here, though. There's a crossing pattern pass looking for Amari Cooper, and that's just a bad break. On the receiver card, you find that blank on a 7. Wow.
That's
So
rough.
2 plays in a row. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's rough.
That is rough. That is very rough. 2 consecutive plays where he had the Eagles on their heels, and they only have 2 yards to show for it. So it's now 3rd and 7 against a very tough pass defense. This is going to be a very difficult convert, but Tannehill's been pretty strong on his card. Guessed right.
Yeah, Tannehill's going to give them a lot better chances than Cousins will in this situation.
Inside run for Williams, and he breaks through on the boxcar. So, wow, good call, I guess. He would have only picked up 5 had it not been that, and it may have been out of field goal range on top of that.
He was at the 42.
So
I mean,
37.
he definitely could have been thinking that was, 4 down territory.
That's true, too. Yeah, he clunked a field goal early this game. If not for that, we'd be tied right now.
Good double team there.
Good double team. Tannehill looking for Allen Robinson. Robinson has been double teamed more often, I believe, than any other running back, or excuse me, than any other player. He's not really doubled Cooper that much, if any. Another pass for Robinson, and that one's incomplete. 4 men in zone. So the Alouettes right now, 44-yard field goal attempt. If they're not able to convert here or pick up any yards here on 3rd down. 2:08 to go. Clock is stopped. Alouettes trailing 10-7, but they're in good position to tie. 3 wide set. Williams back in there. Tannehill shotgun. Looking for Allen Robinson. Double teamed, but it's on Tannehill's card. Picks up 12 and a first down.
Kind of flipped it around early in the drive when he was getting nothing, guessed completely wrong. He's
Yep.
getting these ones double teamed and third and long runs.
A guessed wrong 7, and it's incomplete. A guessed wrong double team 7, and you pick up 12. Wow. And
Pick.
now an interception at the goal line. Mercy sakes. 4 in the zone on that interception split, 2 through 6, 11 and 12. Kyle Fuller with the interception. The Alouettes were looking primed to tie this or take the lead. And we have our first turnover of the game. An interception by Kyle Fuller on the defensive split. Pass was intended for Allen Robinson. I didn't notice that they were double teaming him there or not. Pitch for Kamara, defense double teaming Kamara. Doesn't help you. Short gain of 5. Second down and 5. I'm sorry, a gain of 5. I'm just looking at all those short gains. It's a nice looking end run card.
Yeah. Especially when you don't have to worry about getting stuff too bad guessed right.
No, not at all.
And a lot of the time, these 3-4 defense are going to want to protect the inside a little more.
Correct.
Not blitz those zones. Unless you're an
point.
actual blitzing team.
Quick out looking for Hunter Henry. Not much there. Pick up a 3. But it's going to make for a manageable 3rd and 2. So lots of options here. And he is going to go to that pro set. So maybe we see the first carry for Juszczyk.
I'm going to say short pass Fuller again.
Really? I think defense is going to bring up both those linebackers and bring that 4 to the middle.
He's shown them a lot of those run, flood the zones.
Well, if you're going to throw deep, this would be the play to do it because I think he's going to bring his free safety up. Actually, look at that. He double teamed
on it. They did throw a short pass.
Oh, wow. Double teamed. 3 men in the zone, but it's incomplete. Blank on the defensive card. That's a nice call. But unfortunately, the drive is going to be stopped here, 4th and 2. And we've made our way to the 4th quarter in this super low scoring game between 2 excellent coaches, Claude Turcotte with Montreal, Dave Saminsky with Philadelphia. Both of them had matching 12-4 regular season records. Both of them needed to win 3 wild card games to get to the finals. And here's where we are, 15-4 clubs. Off tackle run for Edwards. Once again, not able to pick up anything. That nose tackle 6 comes into play. 0 or 3. They bring up that guy to support, actually. Off tackle left. He went the opposite direction. He can't get anything either. And once again, that nose tackle makes the play. That's Dequan Jones. It seems like he's made 20 tackles today. He has 6 so far, if Strat's math is to be believed.
How many tackles? 6? It's pretty impressive.
Yep. For a nose tackle, that's very impressive. I'm not sure that's real life, but looking for Dan Arnold. Defense is double teaming 2 different wideouts there. It's incomplete on Tannehill's card, so that was the world's fastest 3 and out. Eagles could have pretty decent field position here. Well, how about great field position? It looks like we're going to have a special teams touchdown.
Wow.
Keelan Cole, touchdown 3 on his card, and he's going to take this to the house in probably one of the least dramatic calls ever in Strat-o-matic history. We missed the animation on the extra point. I assume he kicked it through.
Look at that punt return card. 24 on 10, long gain on 12, touchdown on 3. That's nasty.
That is nasty.
That's 6 combos of really bad things happening. And that the roll of 11 on 7 is not so hot either. I mean, he definitely was he trying to coffin corner that?
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
I know he was deep, so he may not have been. Sometimes you just like screw it, I'm just kicking it, but
Yeah, by default. He hasn't he's coffin cornered kicked those that he knew he had a chance to. Yeah, he's in normal situations he's kicked it straight away. So I don't know if he noticed that or not, or just like you said, 3 and out, just hit the button, didn't think twice about it. But that is a nasty card. You're right, and that certainly has flipped the script now in a game in which points have been very difficult to come by. 2-score lead's hardly insurmountable, but
well, I
Montreal's
mean,
only be able
when you can
to
play defense, which both these guys definitely can,
Mhm.
you can make a comeback. I mean, all you need is stops. That's the hardest part of comebacks is getting the damn ball back,
Yep.
sometimes.
Yeah, and those are the kind of plays that you clearly don't anticipate. Punt fumbles, kick fumbles, things like that. But Dave Szymanski will take it off. There's a run for Scott. That's going to be a nice pickup on the play. He's going to get 8 yards. And so now it's 3rd and 2. Tons of time here. 11:24 in the fourth quarter. Alouettes trailing 17-7. So Williams has checked back into the game. Scott has 6 carries now for 29 yards. 3rd and 2. The Alouettes have to start converting these 3rd downs. Off tackle run, defense guesses run. And Williams is going to be stopped 2 yards in the backfield. Nice call by Szymanski. And it's 4th and 4. And we're going to see one of the biggest gambles in this game. 4th and 4 on his own 45.
That's a really bad card for guest right running right there.
Yeah.
In that zone.
Yeah, there really isn't much of a chance to even pick that up. 2, 3, 4,
11.
9. That's not great. Yeah. I don't know if his other backs are that much better. Maybe it would have been better to keep Scott. Well, I mean, hindsight.
Well, I think you're looking for the D card for sure, or you're feeling pretty good about a pass call.
God, that was a terrible break there. Defense guest run on Tannehill's card, which is a sweet looking guest run short pass card. He finds a 9.
Yeah, that's
that
rough.
stinks. That's rough. And so the Eagles are going to take over, already up 17-7. The ball at the 45.
I feel like sometimes when you're with that Jamal Williams right on 3rd and 2, it's not like the defensive coach doesn't know that the card's bad, and sometimes they just call pass there anyway.
Mm-hmm. Looking for use check. Passes incomplete. 2nd down. Use check. A Strat darling, as I call him. There you go. He's got 2 receptions for 25 yards in this game. Cousins 13 of 24 for 116.
It's another good option. Slant to Hunter Henry, covered by the 4. Ooh, 33-yarder.
I hope Strat fixes that. You get about like a
that
half
was super
second.
fast. I was actually watching, so I saw it, but
Thank you. I'm glad you did. I'd have not had a chance at
he
that.
rolled the snake eyes on his card. Hit 33-yarder.
All right. So Szymanski already up 17-7.
When I'm playing, I never see that number. I go to look and it's gone.
Yeah.
Oop, Will Fuller.
Looking for Fuller.
I like that.
Defense guesses run.
But touchdown.
And there you go. So now it's 16. An extra point here is going to turn this into a 3-score lead. And with 9 minutes to go, that's going to be a bit of a tall order.
Kick bad.
Oh, well, the window is slightly ajar.
That is a bad kicking card right there.
Bad. Yeah,
6 misses. That's a lot.
Yes, that is a really, really horrible card. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that makes you wonder if maybe going for 2 every single time wouldn't be such a bad idea.
With Kamara, I would
Yeah.
definitely consider it. With Cousins, I wouldn't be so thrilled about it. I think against this defense, I probably wouldn't either. But there are definitely some defenses. If the secondary was weak, I would definitely do it.
Sure. I don't know if we've seen a team that's had a bad kicker like that has just decided, heck with it, I'm not going to kick an extra point for the entire season. There's a deep pass that's incomplete. Maybe if I have a team that's like totally horrible, I'll just go for 2 every single time so we can turn it into a case study.
There's going to be a spot where you'll want to kick the field goal or the extra point. I mean,
Oh, sure.
if you're
Off
tied,
tackle run.
if you're tied and you 30 out of 36 times you win the game, you're going to do it.
Scott's able to pick up 8 and tack on another 10. 7 carries for 47 yards, but stats don't really matter right now. Montreal's got to score. They got to be correct on this drive. Let's get a 2-point conversion here. Tannehill back looking. That one's incomplete.
Hi.
Looking for Amari Cooper. Bought the Alouettes 40 midway here in the 4th quarter. Dave Szymanski is 7 minutes and 48 seconds away from hoisting the Duke.
He's been close, I think, for a while now, hasn't he?
That's my understanding. Looking for Kyle Rudolph. And that one's incomplete. Receiver card. Kyle Rudolph's guest right short pass card has probably seen better days.
Yeah.
That's not your grandpa's Kyle Rudolph card. So 3rd and 10.
Oh, single coverage. Nobody deep here. And when he throws the pick. It's about as good of a matchup as he could have gone for.
Absolutely. So that one's picked off. Let's see who. That's Fuller's 2nd interception of the game. So Montreal definitely staring uphill, trailing 23-7 after that 2nd interception. The Eagles are going to take over at their 31. So let's see if they can kill 2 or 4 minutes here.
It's definitely the type of offense for it.
Mm-hmm. Here's the nice thing too, where you got Kamara's guest right card is still pretty solid.
Oh yeah.
So you can't really key on him because then he can run Pollard. Now in there, let's see.
Well, he could
Guard
run
was
this
able
check
to
too.
Yeah, that's right. He's got 3 running options. So offensive guard picks that up. Haven't seen many offensive ratings required on these roles. Now that would have been a 5 because of the full house backfield. 2nd and 2, ball at the 38. There's a run for Pollard, and he is able to sneak through and get the required yards for a first down. It's +4 on his card. Guessed right. Yeah, his card guessed right isn't that
No,
great
that's a
either.
bad one. He got the good roll there.
Yeah. There's a -4, a -5.
13 combos of anything positive, but the combos they're like 4 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards. 5 and 2. So that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
It's kind of an iffy call. I mean, you would want to keep that up the middle because of that chance of an end run being
I think
snuffed out just right.
when you do it, you're definitely thinking you're going to get run keyed
Hmm.
Kamara, which is completely reasonable to think that might happen.
Plus, he's running to the side of a 4. So
Yeah.
Philadelphia just trying to kill some clock here. 2nd down and 9. They were able to convert 1 first down. So they're out of that full house backfield. That's Kamara and Juszczyk in there. Off tackle run. Kamara pick up a 3.
It's a really good card for guess right.
Sure is. And that's the situation here where he goes to that full house. Excuse me, not the full house. I'm sorry, the pro set. So that way Juszczyk's run could be in play. You just can't key him there. He's got a pretty decent guess wrong run card, as I recall. So 3rd and 6. Let's just see if he keeps this one on the ground just to kill more clock. Inside run for Kamara. Defense guesses pass, but no gain on the play.
Guard couldn't make the play.
Could not make the play. If he was in full house, he would have. But he's not doing full house there. Well, he killed off a few minutes there. That ball's going to be, oh, let's give it the 17 or the 16. All right. So Montreal's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. 3:54 to play, and they need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. They do have 2 really nice receivers there in Robinson and Cooper. And Williams is a decent deep threat. Lots of 5s and 6s on the field. In fact, the only 4 we see is defending Allen Robinson. Bomb to Cooper. Defense guesses pass. Defender extra 27. Incomplete. Cooper's defended by a 6.
Well, Williams can go deep too. I'm not sure. Not very deep though, like 29 yards.
Screen to Williams. It's guessed right. And it's incomplete. Everything is just falling apart right now for Montreal. Tannehill, 13 of 36 with 2 big interceptions. A killer late in the 3rd quarter on an interception at the goal line by, who was it that got that? Fuller?
Yeah, I think they're both Fuller.
Yep. Who has 2 interceptions. Tannehill's going to scramble for his life, and he's able to pick up the first down and a little bit more, and actually a whole lot more. He's got a 45 must run and a 23. That's pretty nice if you go 2 through 5. You're bound to get a first down with that. So move the chains for the Alouettes as we've made our way to 2:42 here in the 4th quarter. Deep looking for Williams. It's on his card, but it's incomplete. He's got 12 units there, so 1 in 3 shot. He's going to haul that in. 2nd and 10. Montreal knows they just have to keep throwing deep and hope they can find some magic here in the last few minutes of this Autumn Wind Championship.
Yeah, part of their problem is they don't have a lot of explosive plays on the receiver cards.
Yeah. Oh, there's another incomplete pass looking for Cooper. As Bradbury again able to make the play. So 3rd and 10, 2:06 to go. Great season for Montreal, but they're running out of time. As Claude Turcotte's club, the AFC champions, 12-4, 3 wild card wins, but they may be running out of steam here in the 4th quarter in this Autumn Wind Championship. Off tackle run for Scott, but he's only able to pick up 4. He just misses that short gain. So now it's 4th and 6 as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. Don't need to call timeout there. So last call here for the Alouettes, who are trailing by 2 scores, 16 points to be exact. Looking for Allen Robinson. Tannehill's going to scramble, but he's going to be caught just short of the line to gain. And the Eagles are going to take over 1st and 10 at the Alouettes 48 with 1:52. Alouettes are trailing by 2 scores here. The Eagles choose to take a knee, and the Alouettes aren't going to do anything to stop it. So we're going to see 2 more knees, and this game is going to be history. And so the 2 coaches are congratulating each other as we speak. And we're going to be wrapping up this game here momentarily. So that's going to be your final score. Philadelphia 23, Autumn Winds champion, Philadelphia Eagles 23, and the Montreal Alouettes 7. So congratulations to Dave Szymanski, who is going to take home his first Uber Bowl championship. And congratulations to Claude Turcotte. Terrific season this year. It'll come to a close at 15-5. Philadelphia will finish the season 16-4, 4 straight wins here in the playoffs, and that's what it takes to hoist the Duke the Autumn Wind Championship. So congratulations to Dave Szymanski, and of course congratulations to Montreal. We'll go over these stats here to wrap up this game, and we'll see if either one of these 2 guys want to talk after this contest. So, quick wrap up here. Philadelphia took the early lead in the 1st quarter, 5 minutes to go on a Brandon McManus 34-yard field goal. Montreal took their only lead of the game, 6 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter. Pass 15 yards from Tannehill to Allen Robinson. After that, it was all Philadelphia as they were able to sneak in a touchdown with 37 seconds to go in the 1st half on a Hunter Henry 2-yard reception from Kirk Cousins. And in the 4th quarter, Philadelphia tallied 2 touchdowns. Their first on a 72-yard punt return. Of all the games that I broadcast in Autumn Wind, it was the only special teams touchdown that I witnessed. There could have been some others, but that's the only one that I saw. And Will Fuller, a 12-yard reception from Kirk Cousins. And that was the final points for Philadelphia, who tallied 23 in this game and impressively holding Montreal to 7 points. Let's take a look at the stats. Quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill was terrific in his playoff run, just ran out of steam, 13 of 38 for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 costly interceptions, including a pick at the goal line. Both of the interceptions from Fuller. Kirk Cousins, 15 of 26, not great numbers, but good enough to get it done. 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, no interceptions. Cousins with 20 interceptions during the regular season. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 10 carries for 29 yards. Boston Scott, 8 carries for 51. Alvin Kamara, like he did in the regular season, truly carried the mail. Not huge numbers there, 18 carries for 80 yards. He also caught 4 balls for 20, so nothing huge there. Biggest gain goes to Hunter Henry. 4 catches for 52 yards, including a 33-yard reception. Dan Arnold, his opposite number, the tight end. The tight end for Montreal had a 29-yard reception. Matt Judon had the game's 2 sacks, the only 2 sacks. At least he was credited with 2 sacks for Montreal. And Kyle Fuller with 2 interceptions, big interceptions for Philadelphia, including the game-changing interception. Montreal was down 10-7 and threw a pick on Philadelphia's goal line, and that really flipped the script for the remainder of the game.
Yeah,
That
that
plus
play was huge. I
it was
mean,
huge. It was absolutely huge.
shortly after was the punt return,
That's exactly right.
Huge.
Exactly right. So I think Philadelphia went 3 and out. Montreal kicked it back, and then on Montreal's kickback, that's how Keelan took off with that 72-yard reception or 72-yard punt return. Sorry. So there's your final score, 23-7. Let's see if anybody's in studio. That's Dennis Crowley. But I don't know that he's there yet. I'll send messages to the guys and see if they want to join us. I think he was just listening to the broadcast.
Well, you called the Super Bowl contestants in your
Unreal.
preseason show.
I mean, I can't coach my team for crap, but I can tell you who's going to
30-team
make
league,
it.
that's pretty impressive.
Well, I missed on you by a mile, and I did apologize for that.
I wasn't. Well, you weren't that far off. I knew I was in trouble after the first quarter.
I sent a message to Claude and Dave. Dave just sent a note, said, "Thanks, Michael, for broadcasting." Let's see if they want to hop in here. So, Nathan, have you already looked at the I think Claude already put the draft order.
I haven't looked at it much. I don't even know where I'm drafting.
You've
I've
got
been
other
busy.
leagues to play. Draft's going to take care of itself, right?
Yeah, I mean, after these spring leagues start to wind down, I'll start looking at that stuff.
Sure. You got lives after all.
Too much work.
It is. You know what? I'll let Paul Power do all the work. That guy, you ever seen his draft spreadsheets?
No.
Amazing. I mean, crazy amount of work that he puts into these. He was nice enough to share them with me. We made a couple trades back and forth, and he said, "Hey, I got to show you this my draft tool." Oh my gosh, it's insane. It's one of the most incredible things I think I've ever seen. It's like 10 times PFF. It's just nuts.
I mean, if you're having fun,
I agree.
I've
You
had
know what?
years where I've just poured time in, not to that extent, I doubt, but on some years it's just like, give me the top. I'll try to figure out the top 50 or so, and then just wing it.
Play it by ear after that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done the same thing. 2 years ago, I was like super prepared. This year, not really a lot. I don't know why, but just wasn't.
Well, it's my first week working less than 60 hours in like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. So,
Really?
yeah.
Wow. Gosh. Do you mind if I ask what you do?
I'm a longshoreman.
Oh my gosh. Wow. The
Yeah,
hours would be crazy for that. So you
yeah.
just got to get your games in chunks, don't you?
Our hours would probably be higher if the other entities were working overtime too. I mean, some of them aren't allowed to, so it's not like it's their fault, but there's certainly the opportunity for more work, depending on if you can get rid of all the stuff fast enough. Dave coming in?
I
Nope, someone
sent
put
notes to
something
both
on
of them,
there.
and would you send a note to him on Slack and see if he does,
Sure.
if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I sent one more note to the general tab. Maybe he's off celebrating. They may be doing something in the
Yeah, I
locker
might be
room that
doing a
we don't
little
know
dance
about.
or something.
He that long broadcast that we had a couple Fridays ago, he was talking about all the broadcasting that he had done and all the people he'd met. And I remember that Saturday I did a YouTube search. I'll be daggone. He said he was talking about meeting Jim Brown and Bo Jackson, and the videos I saw of him, he was interviewing Matt Millen and Walter
Yeah, he had like a
Payton.
sports show or something interviewing
Yeah. Yeah, he
people.
was it's not that I didn't believe him, but it was like, wow, that is pretty impressive actually. Yeah,
I
he's
guess they'll just let anybody do
I
it.
Well, Dave right now is trying to get the champagne out of his eyes, I'm pretty sure. Cinderella boy,
It's a
tears in
cool
his
league to
eyes, I
win it
guess.
in.
Huh?
It's a cool league to win it in. 30 teams.
30-team league. This is no small feat. And I haven't been in this league long enough. And plus, the website's down. So I didn't get you know, they have all those crazy coaching records and stuff. So I'm just going anecdotally here. But when I used to call these games, I did a lot more prep work and could remember that. When's the last time you remember Dave Szymanski not having a winning record? I mean, he seems to be like a consistent 10, 11 win team every year.
Okay, he doesn't know how to get on. Hold on.
Well, he did the other day. I thought this guy's a broadcaster.
Well, I mean, he's old school.
I know, but he found his way. He found his way on there a week and a half ago.
Let me see if I can get him the link. Maybe that'll save a little time here. 'Cause I'm not exactly a genius at this stuff either.
Oh, I'm hardly either. Listen. Dennis had a game where I was broadcasting for him in Strat-o-matic. That crazy game where he was down 27 points, and I left the broadcast at the end of three quarters. I said, you know what? I'm going to go get something to eat. I just went into the kitchen and made food and just would check in every once in a while. And I noticed, oh gosh, okay, well, he's cut this thing to 20. Well, that's no big deal. Hey, how about that? He just scored a touchdown a minute later. It's down to 13. Oh, maybe I should start paying attention to this. He's cut this lead down to 6. He tied it up 27 points in the fourth quarter, wound up winning it in overtime. He comes on, he's driving to his son's sports practice, and he's like just gleeful, just bouncing off the walls of his car, and he's so happy. Oh, I can't wait to listen to the broadcast. And so I wrapped it up, I put it on YouTube, and I realized that I didn't have the microphone on.
Okay, I think he's in. Let him in. He says.
Let him speak.
Can't take any more pot shots at him.
Yeah,
You
you must
can
be
talk.
talking about me somewhere in this league.
We are talking about you only in the most glowing of terms.
Why, thank you.
Michael was anyway.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, I know. Well, Nathan and I go back a long way.
Yes, that's what he tells me. Dave, congratulations. Now, is this a bigger thrill than meeting Walter Payton?
Well, that's a good question. Probably because this took more effort. There's more goes into this. You know, when you play this game as long as I have, you don't take these things for granted. There's so
Understood.
many good teams and good coaches in these leagues. It's just amazing, And that guy that you're talking to there, Nathan, has had some remarkable seasons that many of us could only dream of in our wildest dreams.
Wow.
But no championships yet.
Mm-mm.
Congratulations.
Really? You haven't had a championship yet?
Not an autumn wind.
Oh, not win, but I've seen you go undefeated. How do you do that? I don't know. But yeah, autumn wind is quite a mountain to climb, and it's just it's just a pleasure to be with this quality of guys in this league. And I think Nathan, you and Michael both see it. God, you know, when we were playing on the table, Nathan, you remember there was coaches that weren't that good. I can't find anybody in here that is not a top-notch coach.
Well, and you definitely have to cover weaknesses up in this league. You're never going to be strong. Like
Oh
I was
yeah.
looking at your O line, and that is not a championship
But even
caliber
that,
offensive
though,
line.
David, I've seen guys cover their weaknesses up, and we'll look what Oakland, look at the season that Oakland had with that team that he had. I mean, I couldn't have gotten a record with that team like that. I don't think so. I mean, look at the team I had. I mean, I don't. It's not a great coaching effort when you see all the ratings I had out there.
Well, you had Cousins wasn't a great card to have.
Right.
Like he was okay at some things, but that was definitely not.
You know, when I saw how Ed rated Cousins as a quarterback, I thought, God, I didn't think he was that bad, but he was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's good on the flat, and he can since you have such a. That's one of those things with matching your style up to your players. I mean, you're not out there trying to act like Cousins is, Patrick Mahomes or someone like that. You're using him the way you should to get the most out of him by running.
Well, you know, he has a fumble number too. Even running the ball is dangerous with him. The way he fumbles the ball.
But since he can flat pass, and you've got, I liked. There was a couple of moments, even if it didn't pan out, but having Will Fuller against a team that's going to call a lot of run, it's still going to be scary enough that it's going to open a couple of things up for you.
Oh yeah, you know, I looked at the Michael was good enough to send me the broadcast because I never saw those, and I looked at the game that Claude played against Dave Malt, and Dave Malt cut loose on some bombs. I guess wrong with Evans and a pretty decent Garoppolo card, and he just didn't hit any of them. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, throwing the short pass to a dangerous receiver like Fuller, can be just as effective because you're going to complete more passes, but you're going to get some of those big gains because that's where the receivers are going to actually make their impact, is guessed wrong in the receiver columns.
Yes, very astute, Nathan, because I noticed the way Claude plays, he covers those four linebackers with two guys. And if you do that, you're going to only have three guys in the short pass zone and probably nobody in the long pass zone. But, to have Cousins cut loose with bombs would be problematic.
Yeah, I was talking about
short pass to Fuller. You're right. I thought even against the six, I thought, I'm going to get some receivers in here, and Fuller can hurt you. That's exactly what my thought was, Nathan.
Well, having Juszczyk as a great receiver where they have to double with the safety is nice.
Oh, how many fullbacks have you seen with a 5 on the short pass? I mean, that's just when I saw that card, I go, and why did he give him a 5 on it? I don't think that's very deserving, but he got it anyway. So I threw 5 guys out there that had at least a 5 on the short, and that's a little tough to defend.
Yep, for double teaming, which is people want a double team when they think you're going to pass for sure.
Yeah. So who am I going to go? And if you look at my stats, I use them all. I'll go to whoever you let me go to. I've got 5 choices, and that really was a big help for my offense to be consistent, even with Cousins throwing the ball away all the time.
Did you have to make a lot of trades before the season to get that defense where it is? I mean, it's basically full of 5s and 6s.
No,
There's only 1 4 on the field.
I only had to make one trade to get all 5s on defense. I've never come up with a team so luckily rated as that team was, and they have a 6 cornerback. So I got the 5 Pierre. I got the 5 outside linebacker, which really helped my defense. I went right after that when I saw the cards. I said, God, if I get one more 5, I'm kind of covered. So
yep,
that was really nice to get that one. But yeah, no, my team came out of the box just loaded with ratings.
Well, Nathan had pointed this out, and at the beginning of the year, I put out that little preview, and don't have a clue how in the world I got both the clubs together, Montreal and Philadelphia, in the championship. I'm glad I did, but I've tried to go back to figure out now why exactly did I think these two clubs were where they were. And I'll just be honest with you, because I've called several of these playoff games. I didn't realize how mediocre Cousins' card was. I was thinking of Cousins' card from like 2 or 3 years ago. And when I
Yeah.
saw that strong defense, both run and pass, pretty good offensive line, Kamara's got a great card. He's dual threat. I guess it's a cinch, but had I known the Cousins card was just that mediocre, I probably may even thought twice about putting you guys in the finals, but I guess it was a lucky guess. Or maybe I just thought it was the power of Dave Szymanski's coaching. Or
Yeah.
maybe
I think
he
you really like his defense a lot.
Yeah.
And when you got defense and you can run the ball, you got some other playmakers, even if the quarterback's not great.
Mm-hmm.
It plays pretty well. I remember you liked Montreal's offensive line too quite a bit. Which
even having Pollard really helped because I only had 20 carries at that fatigue level for Kamara, but to be able to mix in Pollard a little bit, and of course Claude was all over that. He wouldn't let me run much on second and long. I knew he would try to stop that, but I was able to kind of throw a few passes in there to soften them up just a bit. But enough carries out of Pollard gets me to use Kamara right to the end, which is important for my offense. You're right, Nathan. You need a running attack when you've got a quarterback that gives it up as much as Cousins does. If you look at his numbers, Michael, on the season, he fumbled the ball out. He threw 20 interceptions. So I was just lucky to navigate around him. But also, I was 4-4 at one point in the season. So I ran the table with 12 straight.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wow, that's super impressive. So since this has turned into the computerized version, I guess this is the 17th championship game. The website is down, so I don't get a chance to review coach records and playoff records and things like that. How many Autumn Wind Uber Bowl championships have you played?
I think this is my third. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure because we play in other leagues too, and I've had a run of championships where I didn't close the deal, So, but and it was a little while in the original Oops League before I got a title. Then I ran off a few after I got there. So it's kind of like playing in Oops, and you'll find this, Michael. It's kind of like the real NFL with these teams that you see them just sort of getting better and better. They finally make the playoffs, but they're one or two are out, and then they finally get to the level where they can finish. So you're going to be coming on, Michael, in the years to come. And I've watched Nathan grow as a young man and as a coach, and you could see him. I knew early on that he was going to be one of our better coaches. Of course, his whole heritage he's from a great coaching tree of the Baylors.
Yeah, well, we played a game the other day in another league, and I don't know what my team's going to do for the rest of the year, but somehow I pulled out one, and that might be my Super Bowl for the year, right? So I take him wherever I can get him. If I can beat Crowley one time and Baylor one time in a year, and maybe NFL Ed, I'm pretty happy.
No, that's a very good criteria to operate from because those are the standard bearers of our leagues.
Sure. So Will Fuller already is asking for a new contract. Are you going to reward him after those two important interceptions?
Yes, I'm gonna reward everybody handsomely.
Hey, did you have any that punt return touchdown? Do you remember Keelan taking any others back during the season?
That was the first one and that kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah.
I was thinking that you so seldom get a touchdown on three, but years ago when I did, I remember my early oops playing days, anytime I had a touchdown on one of my return cards, I got it every year or multiple times.
Ah,
So
wow.
it was kind of a thing. You don't want to waste something like that. And I'm
Yeah.
very aware. I got a Pollard touchdown on a kick return early in the year, but it was in a losing cause. And then I didn't get any from Cole until today, and it couldn't come at a better time. It was pretty neat to see that that come through and make a difference in the game.
Sure is. Sure is.
But
Sure
Claude,
is.
I thought Claude is a really patient, smart coach, and he was really tough. Tough getting around today. He played, and he's another guy that had a remarkable season. There's just God, what is it, like 5 or 6 teams that are just incredible that could have won it. Any one of them could have won the Uber Bowl.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. There were obviously we have 12 playoff teams here, and you very easily could have seen 9 or 10 of them make a run.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I'd say maybe 9 or 10 of them. And I don't remember, Nathan, have you seen that many teams that good in Autumn Wind before?
Nothing stands out, but I
It
haven't.
sort of seems like there's usually 3 or 4, maybe, that
Yeah,
are
there's usually
realistic
some
chances of
there.
doing it. I don't remember this many being this good.
mm. Well, I mean, you've got an interception at the goal line. You have a punt return touchdown. He missed a field goal too from 47. It's one more dice roll either way. Never know where this could have game.
Oh
This game
yeah,
could have
oh
been
yeah. No,
basically.
that score is
Yeah.
not indicative. You saw the game. That was a knockdown slugger.
Drag
That.
out. 100%. 100%. Yeah. The game was a lot closer than
Oh
that
yeah,
score.
no, that was that's just a break here or there, like you said, and it all turns around. And the fact that I didn't fumble and I didn't throw an interception, that was all. If I had any wish, that's all I'd look for. Give me a chance without giving the ball away, because. And I told you those 4 losses early in the season were to teams that ended up 31-9.
Oof, wow. Oh my gosh.
31-9 was their record, and those are the teams I lost to.
Did you
So,
play Oakland? Was that one of them?
yeah, Oakland was one of them. I lost to
Yeah.
Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Sounds like
I think he should be coach of the year. I really do.
Oh, that's fantastic. He didn't have the personnel to match up with that record at all. Not at all. So
But
where will this
my
vaunted
game with
trophy?
Nathan, that was a tough game you and I played, Nathan.
Yeah, he
That
came back.
last one. In fact, both of them I think were tough games.
In the third quarter.
Yeah.
Came back to win in overtime. And then the very next game I played like 5 minutes later against Rick, and I gave you the title because I managed to beat him in the last play.
Oh, that's right. You beat Rick for me, Nathan. Thank you. Oh, that's true. That was.
Thank Gus Edwards.
Nathan and I had an overtime. It was just and Nathan just, he's just such a good coach. He was on me all game long, and I pulled it out, and then he goes off and beats Rick in my division. I mean, the check's in the mail, Nathan.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So where is this vaunted Duke trophy going to go?
Well, there's a big trophy over there. That's the face-to-face trophy that I ended up winning the last face-to-face trophy. So it would go right next to that.
Will there be will there be a parade?
No, I'm not big on parades. I'm sorry. I'm not that kind of celebrator.
Okay. Would you like to have a call from Matt Millen? Hey, I saw the interviews. I was telling Nathan about it, that Walter Payton, Matt Millen, that's the interviews that I saw. There was a Dodger, but I couldn't recognize who that was.
That was Lou Johnson, Sweet Lou Johnson.
Okay.
That was down on the field at Dodger Stadium. Oh, Sweet Lou was so good. So you actually saw the whole interviews?
I saw a bunch of them. I saw 3 different videos from you.
Oh, wow.
Michael told me he thought you were making it up, so we had to find him.
Oh, I'll tell you the one the one I'm most proud of is the one of Wally Berger. He played from 1930 to 1940, and in 1930, Wally hit 38 home runs as a rookie, and that record stayed held to 1956 when Frank Robinson hit 38 home runs. And in 1987, I interviewed Wally. That was the year that Mark McGuire broke both of their records, because he and Frank Robinson were tied with a record when I interviewed him in Manhattan Beach. And at the end of the interview, Michael, I said, and he played, Wally Berger played with Babe Ruth, because Babe played with the Boston Braves in 1935. His last home runs were with the Braves. In fact, Wally Berger was there in the game when Ruth hit those 3 home runs at Forbes Field. So I said, Wally, tell me anything you can tell me about those 3 home runs. He says, you know, the ball that was not, he hit 2, Babe hit 2 out of Forbes Field, the first 2 ever hit out of there. But Wally said the one that he didn't hit out was hit harder than the other 2. And so Wally says, oh, Martha, go get those bats. So his wife goes in the house. We're interviewing out in the patio. She brings out 2 bats, and I'm holding on to Wally Berger's bat, Wally Berger bat model from 1935, and a Babe Ruth bat. Babe gave him a bat, and I held that in my hand.
And it was huge, wasn't it? Because I saw the end of that video. It was like enormous.
Oh yeah, he knew the length and the weight of it, and it was. And I played hardball before, and I've never felt a bat that heavy before. It was incredible. And his bat, I think, was heavier than the Babe's bat, and the Babe was reputed to have one of the heaviest bats. But that interview and Wally's unbelievable detail and memory was tremendous. He knew the kind of pitches these pitchers pitched to him, and back in the 30s, it was remarkable. Man. And then the other interview I'm really, really proud of, you can find it, Michael, was Willie Knowles, the great basketball player for the Knicks, UCLA. And Willie Knowles was in the game because yesterday was the anniversary of Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points.
Oh, wow.
And I said to Willie before I got to the essence of the question, I said, Willie, do you remember the night in 1962, March 2nd, when you scored 31 points? Does that name? He says, no, I don't think so. I said, well, the significant thing about your 31 points, Willie, was that some guy on the other team scored 69 more points than you did. He says, oh, yeah, I remember that. So Willie Knowles was in the game that Wilt scored 100. So I asked Willie, could he tell me anything from that night? And he said, well, because the game was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we came from New York in the same car. So we drove Wilt. And it's on the way back, you think Wilt would be all high. Wilt just went to sleep in the back, and we didn't hear from him at all until we got to New York, and they dropped him off at his nightclub. Wilt owned the nightclub in New York. So that was a classic interview that I had with Willie Knowles.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'll look for that one. But yeah, I saw the one where it was basically a compilation video where you'd interviewed multiple people, and you'd mentioned Bo Jackson, but you didn't say anything about Walter Payton, who's one of my all-time favorites.
Oh yeah, no, Walter Payton was just he was so remarkable. It was just a pleasure to be around him, and you get this. If you've ever been around celebrities or really important people, they kind of have an air about them that it's unreal. It's not very. It's almost imperceptible, but it's there. And Walter Payton was like that. And one of the questions I can remember one of the questions I asked him, and I haven't seen that interview in 20 years. I wanted to know, there was something at the last minute after he gets tackled that Marcus Allen had and Walter Payton had, where they get that last few yards out of their run, and he gave me an answer that I thought was, you'd have to hear it, but it's the drive. It's kind of a combination of everything. But Walter, that was really a fun one.
I have to ask Nathan a quick question. Nathan, are you a Chappelle fan?
I've watched most of his comedy stuff. Yeah, he's pretty.
So
fun.
you know the Rick James episode?
Oh yeah.
Remember when he said Rick James had this aura around him? He had that orange glow.
He was talking about Prince.
Huh?
He was talking about Prince.
who had the aura around. I thought it was Rick James had the orange aura around him. He said, when you meet some guy and he's got like this aura around him, I thought for sure that was
Prince.
Rick James, but I know Prince.
I
How it was Prince?
think so.
I love both those two. Charlie Murphy. True. I'm sorry, Dave. There's a comedian that we like, Dave Chappelle, who had a show, and he had Eddie Murphy's brother, Charlie Murphy, used to tell these crazy stories of all these celebrities that would hang out with his brother Eddie. And when you mentioned that Walter had that sort of aura around him, there was a joke about it was either Prince or Rick James, and Dave Chappelle was playing this part, and it would be like an orange glow would be like behind him, like he really had like an orange glow or like an aura around him, and that just kind of tickled me when you said that about Walter Payton, because he seemed like a very special person off the field too. Everybody really liked him, but there was just something. It was just a remarkable talent.
Yeah,
I met Pele before, and he didn't have an aura.
Really, you met Pele?
I did.
I did.
That's impressive.
Well, actually, that's not the impressive part of that. I'm going to tell something that I don't know. I don't think you get in trouble for this kind of stuff. I have a sports management master's from a school in Miami, of which I've not used for a day of my entire life, but it was fun being in Miami for a year. And we used to, as a group, to go to all these different sporting events and would help out, pitch in, do whatever. There was one sports auction that we were asked to go to. It was a silent auction, big, fancy black tie event where there'd be a lot of athletes, and Pele was the special guest. We were standing behind this slew of like signed, autographed memorabilia from all over the country from big name stars. And who walks through the door but Rick Barry, not Rick James. Rick Barry walks in. And when I was a kid, I'm 52, and basketball wasn't really big back in the mid 70s. It really was a fledgling league. And when you're watching CBS, there's really only a few teams that you're going to see. It's going to be Boston, Philadelphia, the Lakers, but Golden State was really a good team back then. And when I saw Rick Barry shooting free throws through his legs, that's what I did. I'd be on my little backyard court, and that's how I learned to shoot free throws. And so he became my first favorite player of any athlete. And now I'm getting a chance to see him for like the first time. I'm only like 22, 23. And so he's making his way. But I'd always heard too that he was like really obnoxious. So I thought, well, just be real careful and just say hi. And it's nice to meet you. And I used to be a big fan when I was a kid. And so I introduced myself and basically was just real succinct and said that Rick, or Mr. Barry, you were like my first favorite basketball player growing up. I thought you were terrific. And that under the legs free throws, that's how I used to shoot him as a kid. And he barely even looked up at me, didn't shake my hand, just, oh, that's great, kid, and just like kind of wandered off. And I thought, well, I've heard he was kind of that way. Well, about like two autograph items down, as loud and as obnoxious as he could be, started saying, well, that's fake. I know that guy's signature. That's not even real. But all this stuff is just like totally fake. This was a silent auction, and people heard him and were running back up to those items and were like scratching out their bids. So he cost the charity several $1,000s by just being loud and obnoxious, is what I'd heard he was, and that was my brush with greatness.
Well, if you think basketball wasn't big in the 70s, you should have lived through the 50s that I lived. I mean, I watched. There was basketball players, I swear to God, Michael, that were still shooting two hands when I started watching basketball in the late 50s.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And,
let me tell you a quick story about my art background. My degree's in art, actually. Oscar Robertson was one of my favorite players, and I did this painting of Oscar Robertson, and I had this idea in my mind. Geez, I think I'll go to a Laker game at the sports arena and see if I can get him to autograph it. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done anything like that before, but I was proud of this painting I did of Robertson. So I go to the sports arena, and I'm looking at the level. There's different levels, and I think the locker rooms were the second level or something or other. But I can't find out. I see where the locker rooms are, but there's all kinds of security around there. And so I'm walking down this is I think before the game. So I'm walking down the causeway there, with all the people are walking around, and who's walking towards me but Chick Hearn. Okay. And Chick Hearn sees me with this this painting as I'm walking by him. I'm not even acknowledging that I recognize Chick. You know who Chick Hearns is, don't you?
Sure,
Don't
the
you?
Lakers.
Yeah. So he says, "What do you got there, kid?" I said, "Oh, I got this picture of Oscar Robertson, but I don't know how, I wanted to get an autograph." He says, "Here, give it to me." He takes the painting out of my hand, walks back to the locker room, walks in the locker rooms, and he comes out with Oscar Robertson's autograph on my painting. Now, how does that happen? Tell me.
How
I have
how
no
cool is
idea.
that? Nathan, can I steal your thunder? Because I got one for him too.
No, I've been more excited to meet Chick Hearn.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
exciting. But Chick Hearn comes up to me and, "What do you got there, kid?" I show him, and then he gets me Oscar Robertson's autograph. I don't know. I just lived a charming life, guys.
I met Oscar Robertson too, actually. As crazy as that sounds, I do have his autograph as well. He was doing color commentary for the Los Angeles Clippers, and back in the '80s, a lot of those preseason games weren't at like their venues. They would take their show on the road, and I don't know how it wound up at Marshall University, which is here in Huntington. They had a pro basketball game between the Clippers and the Atlanta Hawks, and we came there to see, Dominique, and Robertson was announced during the middle of the game, and we all made a beeline down there to the scores table, and he wound up signing something for us. But similar to what you had just said, Mike Schmidt, my brother's all-time favorite player. Loved Mike Schmidt growing up. He was huge Phillies fan, and he just loved Schmidt. And he's an Ohio University alum, just like I am. And we had a day to celebrate him where retiring his number, naming the stadium after him. I can't remember what it was, but it turns out he's in Athens at the same time in which I'm going to school up there. And my bright idea is I'm going to get him to sign a baseball. I couldn't get close enough to him. And plus, there was no place around there that I could find a halfway decent baseball. So I went to some discount shop and got some crappy knockoff baseball. But I couldn't get close enough to him to sign. And when I was sitting in the stands, I was sitting next to a gentleman who actually was a Cincinnati Red Scout who had scouted Ken Griffey Sr., who was two other players. Ken Griffey Sr. was his big one. But he said that, "Oh, I'm going to be at this event tonight. I'll take care of it. You just give me that baseball and I'll, leave it at the university president's place or whatever." And I was very touched that he would do that. And about 3 days later, I got a call from our Ohio University president's office. Their secretary had called me and said that, "Are you Michael Reeves?" "Yes." "Well, we have a signed ball here that you can come by and pick it up." And they were so gracious. They actually chucked that crappy ball that I gave to him and had an NCAA baseball that Mike Schmidt had signed. And my brother's graduation, high school graduation, was coming up 2 weeks later. So I had like the greatest high school graduation gift ever. He opens up the package. We're at dinner, opens up the package. He looks at the ball and he says, "Man, where did you get a Mike Greenwell signed baseball?" He didn't even know it was Mike Schmidt. He thought it was Mike Greenwell, the outfielder from the Red Sox, right? All that effort that I made.
Greenwell, Mike Schmidt. I'll take Schmidt. I'm sorry.
Right. Why would I get you a Mike Green? When would I ever run into the guy? Why would you think that I would get that? That predated eBay. So where in the world would I even? Yeah, I drove all the way up to Fenway to get a player that you don't even like. But yeah. So no, but like I said, I enjoyed those interviews greatly, and I did watch the Wally Burger one, and watching his wife carry that 100-pound bat out of the house was hilarious.
This last year, there was a friend of mine's mother died, and I knew her, and we went to the funeral at the Inglewood Cemetery, which is right across from SoFi Stadium, by the way, and the Forum.
Oh, wow.
And when I was there, I told my wife, I said, "You know what? Wally Burger is buried here." And so I went and it took me over an hour to find his grave, but I found it. I got a picture in front of Wally's grave, and his wife died the year after he did. So I had a picture taken in front of Wally's grave, and I held Babe Ruth's bat in my hand thanks to Wally Burger.
Wow, that's amazing. Nathan, what's your brush with greatness?
Yeah, let's hear it, Nathan.
Like where I actually met a celebrity?
Yeah, sure.
I went up to
most famous athlete you've ever met.
Well, it could be any celebrity.
I got the high five Shaq. at a nightclub.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, no, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Could
We
you
went
reach
there.
it? Could you reach for him for a high five?
Well, not only that, he was coming downstairs and we were going up, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
more of a challenge.
That's a tough one. That's a stretch, Nathan.
Yeah, it's back when Vancouver Grizzlies had a basketball team. We drove up there to watch the game, and he was in. A bunch of players were in there actually. Greg Ostertag was out there tearing it up on the dance floor with two of the ugliest women I've ever seen in my life, and he was loving it.
Wow.
So,
The Kansas Jayhawk, Greg Ostertag.
yeah, he was having a good time.
You can't coach height. If you're 7 foot, they'll find a place for you on an NBA roster.
Like big
Well,
country.
Michael, I'm 6'6", and when I stood next to World Chamberlain, I felt stupid. I absolutely felt ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it's really crazy when you
I'm
watch
not used to people being that much bigger than me. What, Nathan?
What was that, Nathan?
What's crazy is when you go to a game and you watch someone the size of Shaq move so fast that everyone looks like they're slow, you know?
Yeah. You don't have an appreciation for an NBA game until you actually go to an NBA game.
Well, I used to go down to the floor.
See how
and
incredibly
because-
fast those people
because
are. Big,
these guys exaggerate their height all the time, and I was an exact 6'6". I was 78 inches, and I remember Barkley. They said he was 6'6", and I thought to myself, I don't. And I walked down to the court, and I stood just a few feet away from him, and I go, no, he ain't 6'6". He's 6'4" top. So they exaggerate all that.
But hey, I was going to ask you, Dave.
Yeah,
this is the league where you traded up to get Kamara, wasn't it? When he was slipping.
Oh yeah. Tom, I saw that Kamara was there, and I go, holy shit, maybe Tom would take. I can't remember what I gave him, my next pick and something or other, but I couldn't believe Kamara was there, so I got him from Tom. And I don't make, you're big at making trades. I can't think that fast. But I made that one on the spur of the moment because I said,
well, I recall he was sliding like 15th, pick 15 or something like that.
Oh, it was way down. Yeah, he was just dropping. And I go, Kamara is there? I couldn't resist. And that was a strong. What do you think of that team that lost in Frozen Tundra, Nathan, that had Kamara and Chubb on the same team?
Which team was that?
It was Portland, I think. Portland. I
didn't get to watch those games.
Oh God,
I've been limited this year a lot in what I've been able to watch, and this is I was telling Michael this is my slowest week in like 6 months.
Yeah, you're a workaholic, Nathan.
The first one under 6
hours, and you're God. I can't wait. I want to celebrate with you when you retire. You're the most hardworking man I've ever known. Good God.
Well, I definitely
longshoreman, and you work all hours, weekends, holidays. Jesus,
the hours are weird.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable, Michael. Nathan Baylor is as hardworking a man as I've ever known, other than my dad.
I'll make sure and tell my coworkers.
Please tell them that, okay?
Just show them this video, right? Just splice this clip.
After all these years, I kind of know Nathan's schedule. When we have to schedule a game, he's got to work around his.
I tell guys on the East Coast, I'm like, hey, if you want to play at 7 a.m. your time, I might be getting off work. That's fine with me.
Yeah. You never can tell. You and Mike Ramos with his police schedule.
Yeah, he's had some weird. I played a lot of real early morning games with him after he got off.
We meet in strange places and times.
What team does he coach? I can't remember.
Tampa
Bay.
Tampa.
He thrashed me this year. He had the excellent defense. One of the.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
And he had Derrick Henry, I think.
Yeah, you're right. He did. I don't remember if I ran into him this year or not. I just had a weird season. I had that 8-8 season. I'm still shaking my head on how something like that happens. And my schedule, I felt, was a little rough.
What was your record at one time? You were really up there at one time, though, weren't you?
No, I never got. It wasn't until the last week until I got to 500. I think I was 4-4,
Oh,
and
really?
then just went.
I thought you had a good start. Oh,
No, I was 1-3. It was actually
oh,
one and
okay.
three. Yeah, just didn't coach him up right. I tell you, it's just the very differences from leagues to leagues on this the rules are just so different for Autumn Wind. It's not what these other leagues are basically. But I did it to myself. I
What
didn't
was your
coach the
record
team up
after
real
8 games?
well.
Halfway through, what was your record?
I think it was 3-5. I think it was
Okay,
three and
so
five because no, actually I went three
I
and
was
one in quarter two.
I was a game ahead of you at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
4-4
I
looks
think I
like.
actually went 3-1 in quarter two, so it was 4-4, and then I split, and then I
Okay,
split.
well, I was 4-4 after 8 games.
Yeah, I just kept waiting for him to turn it around. I mean, when you got a team with Mahomes and Dobbins and Ridley, you think, man, you know what, this team's got to be pretty good, but it just wasn't a complete team. I noticed a lot of these teams in this league have very good lines. Mine was just basically four across.
I
I
got to ask Nathan this: what's the deal with these teams that have these all 7s and 5s as pass blockers? God, there's I think all the playoff teams. I mean, Shreveport, Montreal, they were sacked twice this year, two sacks all year long. I mean,
Well,
these offensive lines with the pass blocking. It seems like the better teams are building the pass blocking as much as anything else. Am I
it's
wrong with
not.
that?
I don't know that it's necessarily that as much as it is. I mean, obviously, good pass blocking in a watered down league as far as talent goes compared to like a 2014 league, you're going to be even that much more stronger. But also, most teams are throwing a lot of flat passes now, more so than down the field. I
Yeah.
think we had a year 3-4 years ago where there was a lot more downfield passing, but this year there was a ton of flat passes. I think Dennis did a little thing about it on the forum as far as the attempts and all that stuff. So that's part of it. If people aren't blitzing and everyone's throwing flat passes and you face a team that's got a lot of good pass blocking, then they're not going to get sacked. I mean, if you're talking about Rick's team, he threw a lot of flat passes. That's part of the reason
Yeah, he did.
I was able to beat him twice. Is I got really lucky for one thing, but it was actually a pretty good matchup for me in that I was able to flood those zones a lot and sort of, you know, kind of prohibit him from just crushing me because my defense wasn't very good.
I don't know if you noticed that first play of the game on offense, Michael. Did you see that? I threw a flat pass left to Kamara. There's the 5 there, and I knew that he was going to keep doubling up those look-in zone and flat pass right, but he double teamed Kamara, and I lost 4 yards on the first
He
play.
did. He did. I actually, it's weird because I saw that play and then my screen just quit, and so I had to jump back into the game. But I did actually see that. I missed like one more additional play, but that's the last thing I saw was a double team, and
Yeah,
then jump back into the broadcast. So I missed the play after that.
and then I think that's when I don't know if you were watching, Nathan. I think that's when I threw the short pass to Fuller, thinking he's going to think I'm going to run now, 2nd and 14, and he did call run. And
I saw 2nd and 6, and I called the play. I said, "This is a great spot. Throw a short pass to Fuller." And he did, but you got the 6 defender rating. Nothing happened.
Oh, that's right. I got the 6.
But I was like, hey, and that I like the call because he was calling a ton of run. You got to throw those short passes to your explosive guy because that's the only way to punish it against that defense. You can't throw bombs because Cousins is just going to get you killed.
Yeah,
and he's not great on the short pass as it is, especially guessed right. Guessed wrong, he's not even that great. But if you can get those receiver columns on the D card, and there's a lot of them, that's where Fuller is just super, super valuable. A guessed wrong short pass.
I think I had a key first down, 3rd and 1 with a short pass to Ayuk.
I saw it. I saw another. I called on that play too. That 3rd and 2.
You know me so well. That's why you beat.
No, I was saying I like that. I like that spot possibly as a short pass, just because. But he made a great coaching call, and he did call pass, and he doubled the wrong guy. But You know, it was one of those where he had been flooding. And, you know, when we're talking about it, you can say, oh, that's a great call or whatever, but you don't have very many options. You know what I mean? If you're not running, you're either throwing flat into 2-minute zone more than half the time, or you're going to throw a short pass and, you know, try and get one of your explosive guys in case he says run and floods those zones. So it's almost like a 50-50 play at that point. Either he's going to say run and do that, or you're going to, you know, do what you did and throw a short pass to someone.
I think I got I guess, wrong bomb to Ayuk, if you remember, Michael. I think I did. And he doubled Fuller. And I was almost thinking of going to Fuller, but at the last minute, I switched to Ayuk.
I know you threw a third and two to Ayuk. Or it was a third down play to Ayuk. Or it was a short enough yardage that he could have guessed run. And you threw to Ayuk, and I thought you might throw to Fuller, and he double teamed Fuller.
Yeah,
like, yeah, that was the one I'm thinking about. Okay. That's exactly, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a good game. Congratulations again.
Well, it's just cool knowing that somebody's out there watching. You know, it's just.
Yeah, I got off work a little bit early today, and I didn't have to work tonight, so I was pretty happy.
Wow, well, that's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, I was real happy. I kept checking in the lobby to see anybody be here. I'm like, man, somebody's got to be here to join me here. It really helps when you got two people doing this. And
Dennis wasn't around tonight.
Well, he's on the screen, and it looks like he has joined, but he never came on. At first I couldn't even get him on there at all, and when I did, it just showed up as a black screen. So he's probably just listening in. So, you know, he just wants Dave Szymanski to bask in his glory. That's
Well, you know, he said something.
Talk about Russell Wilson.
You know, Dennis said something that, you know, his personal messaging that he was pulling for me in this game. And, you know, when somebody pulls for you in this game, you just got to be thrilled because, you know, like Lasorda used to say, half the teams in the league don't care about my problems and the other half are glad I have them. You know, and so to have somebody that actually was rooting for you, somebody of his quality is really cool that he's pulling me up, because I'm sure all the Canadian guys were dead set against me. And so I think when I beat Jean, he said, oh yeah, your guys will be for. I said, I think some of my guys hate me too, you know, not just your Canada boys.
I got a chance to chat with Claude after his AFC championship game. It's the first time I've had a chance to speak with him. I didn't even know he was coming. I was just like wrapping up the broadcast and saw him in the lobby and said, "Hey, Claude, how you doing, buddy?" I talked to him for like 5 minutes, and he said how appreciative it was that everybody came on and got a chance to do these broadcasts and get a chance to watch all these replays and stuff like that. He's a nice guy, real nice guy. So, but I like the fact that you're the historian of this league. You're literally a lifer, and whenever you've come, we broadcast a bunch of games a few years ago, and like you would always sprinkle in facts about all these people who've been in the league for as long as they have, and real encyclopedic knowledge of this. And so, you know, I was really pulling for you to get your first one. Claude's got two; he'll be back, but it's just good to get that first one.
Oh, it's a real thrill, and yeah, and when you've played this game as long as I have, you take the ups for the downs, because it's, you know, it's very infrequent when you can pull together a championship, especially with 30 teams in a league. That's remarkable. And I thank Larry Davis and Paul Mankiewicz and everybody that contributes. And your announcing, Michael, has added another dimension to these leagues, and it's just so neat that we have this camaraderie amongst us.
Very much so. It's the favorite league that I'm in. Now, if we could just add dump-off passes, maybe it'll be even more favorite.
Okay, get on the soapbox now.
No, we're not doing that. Like look at the time. Hey, we got to go. Nathan, man, thanks for coming on.
Nathan's got to go to work pretty soon, don't you, Nathan?
Yeah, right. Don't you have 64 hours?
I got tonight off. I might have another early day tomorrow even.
Oh, okay.
So Amazon has so much stuff in our yard that we can't unload anything. So we literally are so jam-packed we can't even take a ship. So that's how I get my time off.
Oh yeah, you know, we don't shop anymore. They just knock on the door and they leave packages on our front porch, and I don't know how it works.
There are 2 Amazon ships sitting out on the bay that I can see from work. and there's just Amazon trucks and trains everywhere, and they're just
Yeah.
one customer. But that's what's
incredible.
giving me my extra time off this week, so I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah. That's incredible.
All right,
That's
thanks.
awesome.
How old's your girl now,
She's
Nathan?
about to be 9.
9. Oh
Yep.
my God.
Having a Harry Potter party at the
That's
jumping
cool.
place.
That's very cool.
Trampoline, mini golf, etc.
Do you get out here to Laverne Valley or whatever that valley is where your relatives are?
No, they moved. They're gone.
They moved?
They're down in Arizona. So
Wow.
I went down for a Rams game against Tampa Bay this year. I saw the Dodgers play San Diego. And then I did Disneyland for like 4 or 5 days, which is insane. When I was a kid, I would go for one day, but now it's like a 3-4 day deal.
Mhm.
We did San Diego Zoo, we did Universal Studios, and we did Huntington Beach.
Well, when you're down here, Nathan, you gotta do Lancaster, okay? Because your daughter will.
I'm thinking when she's a little bit older, and maybe I'll take her to Magic Mountain and stay in that area.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh, stay with us. We got a great guest thing. I have an African sulcata tortoise that's this big.
Oh, she'd like that.
These other 100 pound. Then on the other side of the yard, I have a koi, and I have a water turtle that's about this big. So I'd love to have you guys stay with us for a day or so. It would be really cool to see you. So if you're ever down, and Magic Mountain is 45 minutes from me.
I know. I remember it was real close.
We could get together with Dave Balt too. That would be so cool to see you, Nathan. I want you to think about that. And Michael, if you're ever in California, you got a place to stay right here.
I appreciate that. I got a lot of friends in California
if you play golf, I have an artificial putting green out in the backyard.
God, it's like Disneyland at your house, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I got a wiffle ball field. I can't play wiffle ball anymore because I got an artificial shoulder. I just had an operation 5 weeks ago. Brand new shoulder.
Congratulations. I'm glad it's working out.
I'm trying to keep this old body together. That was my 33rd lifetime surgery.
Oh,
30.
Gosh. That's incredible.
People say, why do you have so many surgeries, Dave? I said, well, I used to think I was an athlete, and my body said, no, you ain't.
Well, I've got a torn rotator cuff in my right arm. And so if I try to throw a baseball, it basically goes about 9 feet in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
And when they keep asking me,
they
ask me, do you want to have surgery?
I had 3 rotator cuff surgeries. And then the doctor looked at the MRI of this shoulder. He said, Dave, I don't know how your arm is hanging on. He says, there's not only is the rotator cuff torn, the tendons, the ligaments, it's completely destroyed. He had to give me a whole new shoulder.
Well, I tore mine up lifting, and I've just made the conscious decision that every shoulder has 4 rotator cuffs in it. I'll make do with the other 3. And so I've decided not to have surgery. So I'm no Dave Simmons.
Did you ever play wiffle ball?
I grew up with it, but everybody has different rules.
Well, I have a backstop and I have rules and stuff. Like if I get some kids over, I try to entice my grandkids and my kids to come visit me out in beautiful Lancaster. So I try to have these special attractions,
Did you
so
say
I'll have to satisfy with Nathan's family,
Beautiful Lancaster?
Yes, it is beautiful.
All right.
Trust me. You haven't seen my yard.
I used to live there. I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, my yard is an oasis in the middle of Lancaster.
Have you ever watched the Star Wars trilogies, Michael?
Sure.
So think Tatooine, I guess, would be the closest thing to Lancaster.
He's Womp Rats or his T2, right? He's just God.
Tumbleweeds and I like the desert, but I don't know if you call it beautiful.
He doesn't have the artist's eye that I have, Michael.
I will say the sun. I do live in a state where it rains every day, so the sun part is nice.
Yes, it is.
Do you still want him at your house?
Guys, see you later.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it, buddy. You take care now.
See ya.
Hey, thank you, guys. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it, buddy. Congratulations. I'm really, really happy for you, man. Really happy for you.
I want to announce your Super Bowl victory someday. Okay.
One day.
Let's reverse roles there. Okay.
All right, give me 10 more years. We'll figure it out. All right.
No, it'll be sooner than that.
All right. This was
Okay.
great. I really enjoyed calling it when that punt return came. I was like, oh man, it's like you could taste it now, man. He's this close. He's this close.
Oh,
So
boy, I
couldn't
couldn't
happen
have
to
come at a better time. But it
it,
was
well.
but
It,
you know, Claude played a great game.
yeah, he did, but Claude's got his too. David couldn't happen to a better guy. We're all happy for you. We really are,
Thanks,
man.
Michael. Okay, have
Congratulations
some
to
fun the
you.
rest of the week.
All right, you take care. We'll see you soon. All right. Okay. Well, that's it. So we got a chance to talk to the winning coach, Dave Saminsky, who takes home his first Uber Bowl championship. So congratulations to Dave, who finishes the season 16-4 with his beloved Philadelphia Eagles. He's the Autumn Wind Championship for season 17. We're going to be back, let's see, October of this year. We'll have our draft in September. So those of us who didn't win, and there's there's 18 of us who didn't get into the playoffs. So we're already looking to the draft, potential trades for next year. The ratings guide will be out in July, so that's going to be, of course, a lot of fun. But a lot of us are in spring leagues too. Autumn Wind is my favorite league. I've been the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams for 5 seasons. I made the playoffs last year. Unfortunately, did not make the playoffs this year. But with Patrick Mahomes, you've always got a chance. So I'll be excited to get a chance to get back into it next year, into what I believe is my favorite league. Autumn Wind. It's been around since the late 60s. It's a 30-team league. If you punch in Autumn Wind on Google, you can learn more about it. And if you want to get into any of these strat leagues, this is how I actually got into playing. I was watching broadcasts from the great Tom Cook, who's fantastic with these broadcasts, and also Dennis Crowley, who does a terrific job. There's lots of people who are picking up broadcasts now, so it's a lot of fun. But it's a great hobby. I've met a lot of great friends, especially on the West Coast. Some wonderful coaches, some very, very good friendships. So if you go to Strat-o-matic, Strat-o-matic.com. They have a section for the league registry, and that's how you can get involved. And also, too, there's a website called the Strat Fan Forum, and that's where you can learn a lot more about these leagues. So I do invite you to get along. A lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie. Autumn Wind is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to these leagues, but there's some wonderful other leagues, SAMIFA, Strat 28. So, just get involved. It's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you will consider it too. So again, let's sign off here. This is the 2021 Autumn Wind Championship, or as we like to call it, Uber Bowl 17. And we would like to congratulate Dave Saminsky and his world champion Philadelphia Eagles, who finish off the season 16-4 with an impressive win today against the Montreal Alouettes. And congratulations to you, Claude Turcotte. You have 2 of those Duke trophies. No shame in today's loss at all. Great game, great season. Going to wrap it up today. So congratulations to you, Dave Saminsky, and Claude, and to everyone who made the playoffs this year. And we look forward to seeing everybody for season 18 of Autumn Wind. So we'll be signing off here this evening. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for listening to this broadcast. I really appreciate it. Everybody stay safe out there. God bless. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.